Hi, everyone. I think we're live.
Hello.
I know we were a minute because we were having banter. We were having discussions.
We were having a who changed this to what we got.
I changed it.
I go to sleep, I wake up, and what the heck?
Yeah.
Features I just figured out last night are gone.
So
Anyway.
we've had a change of the schedule. I'm going to have to change the title of it. We are not doing 4.0 mini with a fine tune. I know you guys are all sad, but it's because I've got something infinitely better. How many of you would like a free, very powerful software?
A month early.
A month early.
Nothing like changing the plan while Leland's asleep. I tell you what, you East Coasters.
Do you see my mug? It says feral girl era. So yeah, that's what I am today. We're just changing
I'm not arguing that point.
All right. So this is going to be the debut of Raptor. Raptor is the little brother of Rexy. I'm going to put the link in the chat, and then we will also make sure it is in the description of the video once we are done with all of this. So the link is in the chat. This thing is bonkers. Okay. I love it. I love it. Now, this is an alpha. This is an alpha release. So what does that mean? It means not all the features are there yet. But we're confident enough in the features that are there. We want authors using it, and we want to see, feedback and everything like that. Leland, you've been playing with Raptor. His original name was /Eddie, but you've been playing with Raptor for 2 weeks now, 3 weeks.
Yeah, and we've got some videos up, so some people are like, "What the heck are you using?" So here we go. But yeah, I mean, this is my new favorite way to work on my stories, except for the fact that a feature I was using is gone now. Anyways,
it's not gone; it's improved.
That's okay.
That was the argument.
But at any rate, yeah, this is a game changer. We are going to be exploding stuff, and I cannot wait to find out what's going on because everything got moved up by a month.
Well, not exactly, not entirely. So here's what we originally planning, everyone. August 19th, the free version of this was going to go live to everybody. But then I had a wild hair and decided that maybe we should kind of test the waters a little bit more. Because right now, the only people who have seen this tool are members of the Future Fiction Academy, and then a handful of select individuals that I have shown the tool to. And feedback has been astronomically amazing. But it's important to me that this tool, the free tool of this is going to be community supported. So the Future Fiction Academy will be supporting it and everything like that. But like tech support, it's going to have its own Discord, tech support, and all that. For the free version will be community led. However, this thing is really powerful for the community, and it's really important because it's going to hit on the main tenets that I think is very important for AI software. Number one, I think that the prompt should always be revealed, and the prompt control should be with the author. It is only a matter of time before tools start releasing and the back end is actually releasing. They're actually using copyrighted material in the prompt. Any software that doesn't show you the prompt, you are at risk of what is in that prompt. If you don't know what's in it, you're not fully in control. Number two, we need a tool that lets us seamlessly go from vanilla to spicy, right? Spicy content, sexual content, high heat romance. Those are the best sellers on Amazon and everything like that. And the vast majority of AI models won't write it. Am I wrong, Leland?
Nope, you are absolutely right. And speaking of like even things that semi-advertise that they're not getting between you and the models are getting between you and the models. For example, when you're proxying through OpenRouter to Anthropic or OpenAI, there's a little bit of extra prompting that they're adding that I still don't know exactly what they're doing, but I know for the fact that the prompts that I run through OpenRouter to those models give me slightly different responses and capabilities versus like directly going to those models and running the exact same prompts, which is why I love, that's one of the reasons I really love Rexy and the ability to go, no, I'm going to go direct. It's me, that model, and this is our conversation. I don't want anybody else getting in between. I don't want to play the telephone game with what I'm asking for.
So
And by the way, happy birthday,
Mania.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, happy birthday. So happy birthday to you. This is for you.
Birthday present.
Yeah. So my big tenets are always revealing the prompting. Number 2, we need to be able to have access to all of the different models and all of that. Number 3, what I think is important, and these features aren't in the software yet, but they are coming and they will be in the free one. We need to be able to export our documents really easy, like working with the documents, saving the documents. So that is going to be a feature that is in the free software. Like you can just download your text files and take them somewhere else.
Select all, copy, paste.
You can do that too, but you also will be able, like, you'll have different documents on the left-hand side, and that's where we're asking for help.
It's a lot easier when it just happens for you.
Yes. And Alex is actually sharing, heck, just writing action thrillers with bursts of brutality and violence can be a problem with the commercial models. I agree 100%. So we are using Open Router for Raptor. So we'll get to see that.
I mean, we're going to allow you to put in other keys eventually, right, Elizabeth?
In the Pro version. So the Pro version will have more features. And I don't want to talk about all those features necessarily because it's going to be more robust. Like, you know how Rexy can sequence prompts?
Yes.
You know? Yeah. So the Pro version of Raptor Write, we have visions of it being able to be automatically processing documents, mass amounts of documents.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. So let's go back to the what's actually included in the free version.
The free version,
as opposed to our wild, crazy plans for the future.
Yeah. So the free version. Let's go play with the free version. Is everybody ready?
I'm ready.
So if you were listening and you want to play along, you just need to go get an Open Router key, and I'm going to show you kind of how to do that real fast. So let me go ahead and share my screen of Raptor Write. Actually, it's going to be a window.
You're not on the stage.
I'm working on it. I have to add it first. There we go. And I'm going to go this. Actually, we'll go full and not show our faces, if that's okay.
That's fine by me.
The full thing here. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to join Open Router and then click on your name and you go to keys. And then you click create key. Now you'll give that key one time. So you'll want to highlight that key and save it. And when you come over to Raptor Write, in the basics, you just put your key right here. That's it. You just put your key in at that point. Now I'm going to clear everything out for right now. So I've cleared everything out. And I'm just going to give you a quick, the whole idea of this software is that authors would be able to use it within 5 minutes. That's our dream. And again, all you see here is going to be completely free to everyone starting August 19th. If you want free access now, you'll have it through the weekend. You can join the FFA if you want to influence what changes are made and what's pro and what's not. And if the FFA is still outside of your budget, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, join our free class at futurefictionacademy.com/free. Because come Monday, you'll still have access to the alpha. But if you want to, be able to be working with me on deciding where things go and how things work, that is something for the kind of authors guild that we have not authors guild. Don't want to use that official word, but like the guild type professional group of authors in the Future Fiction Academy, because we're the ones who have clocked the most hours on how AI works and how we want it to work and how it doesn't. Also, hopefully by next week, we'll have something under instructions, because if you click instructions, there's nothing there. We're not kidding. This is an alpha release. We're doing it kind of as a test because we want to see how easy it is for people to just like start running with it.
Yeah, we're more interested in writing the code and playing with it than we are in writing the instructions on how to use it.
No. It's also a test to see if people can just do it,
Oh, that I'm going to use that excuse in the future. That's perfect. This is just a test to see how user friendly this is.
Exactly. Okay, so your top models. We have our top models. They are not the actual top models right now, but they will be. So once a month, we'll change these out. 4.0 Mini is really great. Wizard is my top one. 8x22B is my top one for sex and violence, and we'll take a look at that one in a minute. You do have the ability to control your temperature. Yes, we know that there's other hyperparameters, but we're trying to keep this simple so that people who have never used AI before, they just have the very basics, and we're hoping that this gets them started with it, and then they want to learn more. And I think the Pro version is going to have the ability to have like all the hyperparameters available for people to change. Here is your output amounts. Micro, very short, average. Now, these are in tokens. The reason they're in tokens is because sometimes with open source models, they don't have the same capabilities as the commercial models. So there is a little bit of a learning curve there in terms of knowing which model can do which one, but we do give you like a helpful like error message and you can change your model. The 16,000 output, that is only for 4.0 mini. Right now, that's the only model that can give you 16,000 tokens back. However, I have a feeling that if you're watching this video 3 months from now, there will be more models that can do that. So that's just the way that it grows. What do you think, Leland, about the different model outputs, how they've changed over time?
Well, so I'm actually thinking that the one problem is there is a little, as you say, there is a little bit of a learning curve. You do kind of have to understand what the temperature rating is because different models use temperature ranges differently. For example, Anthropic is 0 to 2. Let's see, no, OpenAI is 0 to 2, and Anthropic is 0 to 1.
Yes.
And so giving it a temperature that is out of the contextual range for that particular model will get you interesting, if not weird, results.
And all of this is covered in the futurefictionacademy.com/free class. It'll teach you all about temperature and all of that. And it's the whole class takes 2 hours to complete. So it's not really onerous or anything like that. It's a really great primer, I think, for working with AI. Also out of the gate, we do have all of these different themes. So if you are someone who likes dark mode, we got you covered. We have dark mode, and that's how Raptor Write works. So I personally prefer pastel. That's my favorite. So I'll be working in pastel, but you can choose the theme. And then last is your API key. And that's pretty much it for getting started. So I'm going to be in Mini right now, and I'm just going to call this chapter 1. It doesn't really do anything quite yet. But that's like what's coming in the future. And that's why we need people in the FFA who are interested in trying to shape how this software goes. This is your opportunity. We're going to be working on it for the next 30 days or so and getting it out the door. Now at the bottom, it tells me what my shortcuts are. This is a backslash. If you don't like backslash because you use backslash in your writing, in your settings, you do have the ability to change it to a /, the pipe, or your F1 key. Now, if you're on a laptop, don't change it to your F1 key. That probably won't work. You'll probably want to use pipe, backslash, or /. And if you don't know what a pipe is, if you look at the keyboard, the key above your enter key, you'll see that there's that little line up and down. So shift backslash is usually your pipe. Which key do you like to use, Leland?
I like the backslash key simply because I don't like my fingers leaving the keyboard. I don't like having to hit the shift key.
Yep. And then we have a hotkey for confirmation. The default is =, because that works on all software or on all operating systems. If you would prefer insert or end, you can change it to that or to the semicolon. I like =, because there's not a lot of fiction that I write with an =, in it. Finally, we have debug. When you click debug, it's going to open up a new window and it's going to show you basically the back end of what the prompting and everything is. The top part will be the prompt that actually runs. The bottom part will be the prompts that are available to you. I'm not going to click debug right now just because it'll also show the key. So when you do click debug, make sure it's private to yourself. You're not going to want to click debug when you're public with other people because it's going to show the personal information that you're using to send. Everything is done through your browser. We don't store it. We don't keep it. I can't retrieve it for you.
So Elizabeth, I have one real quick question here just for kind of an order of operations thing.
Yeah.
Did you actually select the multi-select dialog to when you were talking about the different hotkey requests? Because I think on the channel it doesn't actually show the pop-up.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. So if you select that
right here.
Yeah, we don't the pop-up's not going out on the channel. So they're not seeing that they can change it. So my suggestion to everybody is go to the URL and click on those down arrows so you can actually see the dialogues for yourself.
Yeah, it says insert = end and that. I don't know why it's not showing, but that's kind of a cool feature and we should use that for other things. All right.
So just so you guys know that there are drop downs and there are configurations. I'm pretty sure the configure prompts. I think it's because they're all being opened as separate windows.
Oh, because I'm not sharing the entire. I know what's going on.
So
okay,
we can't. So we're not showing off the dialogues.
Okay, I got it. I'll
Sweet.
stop screen.
As Leland troubleshoots live.
No, this is good to know. Thank you. So
sorry, guys.
Share screen. Share screen. Let me show in.
Be careful.
I know. I know. Okay, so just remind me that I'm sharing my entire screen, and it's going to look awful for just a second, but all in the name of showing how to do this. Okay. So, I need to go back.
All right. All right. Ooh,
oh yeah. No, I know. We've entered the matrix. Okay. Are we better?
I love it.
Are we all better?
Yeah, it looks good so far. So now pop up a dialogue for us.
Now?
Woohoo!
Woo!
We can fix technical issues.
We can. So back what I was saying, basics, you have all of your models so you guys can see those because I assume these didn't show either.
Nope. I was wondering why you were showing them off, and then I suddenly realized, oh, you know what? Maybe it's because they're just not
Here's all of your different themes. Did we say that this is an alpha release? It's an alpha release.
Well, I think this video is an alpha release now too.
It is. It is an alpha release at this point. And then here's your hotkeys for the LLM request, like we were saying, / pipe or F1. And then we also have insert equals end and a semicolon.
Trust me, you want to use the equal sign.
To use the equal sign.
Using the insert key can get you into all kinds of weirdness.
For right now, and it's due to the way that we're going to have functionality in the long term. Right now, for the alpha release, when you click save right here, this just saves your settings for like which model you have selected and which prompts you have chosen. It does not save what's text in here. If you want to save the text that's in here, you have to click the little save button up here in the text.
And that's actually behind the Rexy logo.
Of course it is. All right, hold on. We're going to go matrixy again. I think banners, brand. I think it's
actually
brand.
You could probably just
I'm just going to turn the logo off.
Oh, that's a good idea. Can you just click it and turn it off?
There we go.
There we go.
Okay. So we're good. Sorry. Comedy of errors. Comedy of errors. Can you tell me?
So that we have a little floppy disk that nobody who is born in the 2000 knows what it means, but that's the save button.
It does say save content when you hover over it. And then this is load content. So you only have one save in your browser. Eventually you'll have multiple saves under story right here. So you'll have all of your documents, but that's the beta release. So if you want to influence how beta works, join us so that way you have influence here. But we'll go to settings. Now, your configure prompts. Again, one of the tenets I believe in is that people should always have control over the prompts. However, we get you started with basic prompts. So we're just going to leave the defaults for right now. But you can insert a system prompt. You can change the continue prefix, and you can change revise. I don't recommend you change them until you understand how they work, but it does give you full control, which also means that you can really make this thing do a lot of things more than what it does out of the box. If you ever change a prompt, like if I go, hi, everyone, as my system prompt, and I'm like, oh no, I don't want that anymore. If I click reset right here, it will reset it back to the defaults that are hard coded in.
It'll reset all three back to the defaults.
Yes, it will. If you need
warning.
Oh, go ahead.
I said, warning, it's gonna change all three. So make sure you know what you're doing.
If you need more space, because this is a pet peeve of mine, like that's too tiny of a box. I've got a mega prompt. You can actually drag it in the lower right-hand corner and make it bigger. So if you need to do that, it's the little thing on the little right-hand side. The little arrows there.
Yeah, and don't forget the save buttons are at the bottom. You have to scroll down to find them.
You do have to do that.
Which I occasionally forget personally.
Same. And the same thing with model favorites. So OpenRouter has a ton of models. You'll see I don't have half of them selected. You just pick which ones you want, scroll all the way to the bottom and click save. Can there be some better UIs here? Sure, we'll get there. But right now we just wanted to make sure it worked, and it worked kind of smoothly. And you really don't change your favorites too often. So just scroll to the bottom and then click save, and you've got your favorites in here. All right, I think that's the tour of the functionality. I think we just play with it now.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so y'all know the drill. If you guys put it in the chat of different story ideas, I will make sure to run them, and Leland can let me know what they are. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with a story about a dinosaur named Raptor. Raptor, a dinosaur. And that's all I got. I don't know what else for the story. I'm stuck, Leland. What am I going to do?
Hit backslash is my suggestion.
Down here, it has the backslash. It tells me the LLM run, and it tells me that my context is continue because I'm at the end of my writing. Now, I've got long 2048, so this thing's going to write quite a bit. So here we go. Backslash, go. A dinosaur of imposing stature and fierce demeanor prowled the dense foliage of the ancient forest. The sun filtered through the swaying branches above, casting dappled shadows on the ground. Oh, dear. All right, so it finished writing for me. Now you'll notice it didn't write the full 2000 tokens. That's what it can do, but remember, it's just like anytime you're prompting with Rexy or whatever. If you don't give it enough meat to like write a response, it's going to be shorter. So down here at the bottom, it'll tell me that I have 318 words in my total box and my tokens is 413. Now let's say I don't like it. I don't like it, Leland. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press backslash again, and it just runs again.
I was going to say, yeah, just hit backslash again. Just redo it again.
And it just goes.
This is how I do stuff. Although I normally load up. So just FYI, it's like if you want to continue a story, you can just I like paste like the previous chapter or maybe 2 chapters into this, and then start working on it, because it will mimic your tone and style and voice that you already have demonstrated there.
Absolutely. It's really like if you put your existing manuscript in here of anything, and I'll demo some different genres and stuff, and I'll bring some of writing in to show this. But I just wanted to show like you can literally type in this thing because it's just a typing box. So you have the bold italics, like you can just be writing in this. And then if you get stuck, you press backslash and it'll just write you a little bit.
Now, now just warning, like if you do not accept this text, it's gone. So if you hit any key, like hit space, Elizabeth. Boom! Oh no, it's not.
No.
I know. Control Z.
Yes, if you're on PC, Control Z. If you're on Mac, it's Command Z. So I just do Command Z, and it's right back again. Now, this tool is not designed to replace the tools that create, multiple cards for you and save your stuff. It's really designed for the person who doesn't want to store a whole bunch of AI words. They just want enough AI words that they can keep writing, that they just keep going. It's really designed to be like in the moment that you're writing, you get that little bit of help and it's in line and you don't have any friction of like bringing those AI words in. Because here's the thing that I love the most about this tool. If I like these words, I just press equals. Well, now I can't because we did something.
I was going to say the other thing is if you hit Control Z, the other thing is you're not going to be able to get rid of the.
That's not true.
You click that, it's going to reset.
You're just going to go ahead. Tell them.
Yeah. So right now, because we backed into this, it doesn't actually the tool doesn't actually know that this was generated text. So it's just markup highlighting that's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
So we've given you the ability to quickly just make the highlighting go away, which is you can go go. If you
this is also a feature. You know why? You know what I've always loved about this tool is watch this. I can leave this as it is, and I can make changes to this. And if I'm down here and I'm like, yeah, I like all that, and I'm like, and then one day I don't know if saber-tooth tigers are at the same time of raptors. Probably not.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're not going to be fact checking you, Elizabeth.
Yeah. Okay. A T-Rex appeared and I'm like, I don't know, backslash again. And it writes again. You can use that feature to basically have a version. Haven't we always wanted to know exactly how many AI words were AI words?
I've got other weird tools for that.
I know you do, but if you wanted to work with a tool and you're like, okay, I don't want to lose it or whatever. If you come into this and you start making edits, like the air cackled, I don't want that one. I just want the raptor crouches low, and I backspace it out. It's gone, but I bring it back. It's there. Okay, I can delete it. It's still all there, and I now have a very cool visual of how much of this is AI. So it is one way that you can kind of hack it. But if I want all that highlighting to go away, I just click the thumbs up button and it's all good.
What happens if you click the thumbs down button?
So if you click the thumbs down button, so I'll Command Z back, it actually removes all of the AI stuff.
It's gone. Yeah.
So if you get down the weeds and you're like, I don't like any of this, but you don't want to have to like go through your manuscript and clean it all up, you can just press the thumbs down and it literally only has the stuff that I typed.
And just FYI, it did remove the stuff from before and after in multiple passes. So just warning, danger.
But it won't do that if I thumbs up it and then I thumbs down it, it doesn't do anything.
It's looking for the highlighting.
It only works if it's highlighted. Which now that I see that, I think we need a feature that we can manually highlight stuff, because then it'll work like Chopper.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. We'll add that as a note that we want. See, this is why
I think that's a pro version feature. Like, don't get too excited.
No, I don't think that's a pro feature. I think that's like a basic.
Ooh, even better.
Highlight.
You heard it here first, folks.
Just because it's going to be too important for them to actually like change their words and such. Okay. So we've gone over what continuation does. Now let's talk about notes. So if my cursor is in the middle, and this is the part that, first let me, I feel bad because let me stop my share real fast.
Dun, 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 dun,
dun. I kind of wanted to see the chat because we have lots of comments. So I want to see the chat of what people think.
I've been watching the chat.
Let's make it like Chopper. So it currently only saves the current document. That is correct. Sorry, Alex. It does, Harper, only currently save the current document. But as you're a member of the FFA, you know that by next week, we'll have a pro version starting going and things like that. So you guys will start being able to influence that. Carrie says, I love how EAW comes up with new features as she's showing the current one.
This is how all of our business meetings go. If you can imagine being in the meeting room with this lady more than once a week, oh my goodness.
So we do have a tool like that in Rexy already called Chopper. That's why I called it Chopper. So it'll give you the Chopper of things. Harper's asking if we do that, can we pick what color our highlight is? I hate yellow. I hate yellow too. So I think we can probably make that an availability in the pro version.
We could probably do a drop-down selection of like 3 or 4 pastel colors. I mean, seriously,
Yeah, the reason though I would probably want that being our pro version is just because for educational purposes, when we're teaching people how to use the free version, if there's different color codes, it could make it difficult for them to understand how the features work.
Okie dokie.
That's if it's yellow, it's always consistent when they watch the demo videos what it works and all that.
Okay. There was one really good question, which is for current students, like what's the work case for this between this and Rexy? This is the equivalent of a super chat. So using Rexy and this tool, I use Rexy to do chaining prompts, to do a lot of development, to go through and play with that, as well as the Chopper tool. But instead of going to the chat interface in Rexy or going to the chat interface directly on one of the LLM sites, I'm now hopping over to Raptor Write because I can sit there and just edit directly into that, which is the equivalent of me working like in Scrivener or Microsoft Word or something like that.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing my tone and author's voice edits and stuff like that directly here because I immediately have the AI. Like the AI is literally right there at my cursor the entire time. So
we haven't even shown you guys the next bit of it. We just showed you continue. So
yeah. So like
if Rexy's big stomp, you guys know how Rexy you can sequence prompts and get 30,000 words with a click. Then Raptor is your scalpel. Raptor allows you to make small edits and small changes, and we'll show that next.
Or write large chunks.
You can do both. It's also great for pantsers too. There's a lot of people who want to write with AI, but they don't want to have to prompt each individual little prompt. Do we have anyone in the audience who kind of feels like if I have to write all these sequences of prompts, that's just not my writing style. That's not the way I write. I want to be able to write. And if I'm stuck, I press a button and I get help. But not just any help, that you can change it to your parameters. You know exactly what prompting it is. And it's also, it allows for not safe for work content that you can control. Jen sharing, last night I used it to add a fight scene into something already written that Claude wouldn't do for me. Doing that in Raptor Write was so quick and easy. That's a perfect segue into what we're going to do next.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing that this allows you to do is this. The one thing that's really nice is you could be having a conversation with Claude 4.0 Mini or ChatGPT, And if it suddenly starts giving you weird context, or it's insisting the trees have to talk, which is something Claude does to me
The trees
occasionally.
whisper.
It's like you just go over and change to the other to one of the other models that you work with, and you can work on your text in that mode without. It's like the whole conversation's there. Everything's already in place, so you can move back and forth way easier than having to copy and paste and prime and load. And it just makes it makes flipping between models. And especially if you're doing not safe for work writing, you can quickly go and generate your not safe for work using the not safe for work models, and then you move on to the other pieces of the plot where that's okay, and you can create the major action beats and stuff like that, and get the plot rolled out, and then you can flip over to the not safe for work model and insert all the not safe for work stuff.
Yes.
Which Elizabeth's going to demonstrate without going not safe for work.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way to demo it. I was doing that last night. Yeah. So, but you're jumping ahead of me, sir. So that's the later one. First, we just have to show them the feature.
I do that a lot.
So let's get back to our dinosaurs, our raptor and all of that. So let's go ahead and read this real fast. Raptor, a dinosaur of fierce stature and razor-sharp claws, prowled through the dense underbrush of the Cretaceous forest. His piercing eyes flickered with an instinctual hunger as he scanned the area for movement. The sun filtered through the canopy, casting dappled shadows over the mossy ground, while distant echoes of chirps, rustles, hint at the bustling life that thrived with his domain. This day, however, was destined to be unlike any other. Okay, I don't like that. So if I highlight this, as soon as I highlight something, it's going to change my mode to revise. And as soon as I press revise, or press the backslash key, it's going to bring up the information of what I have highlighted, and then it gives me a box to tell it what I want. Now, it always saves your last one. There's a reason for that, because once you do something, if you like it, you can click the button again, and you can copy and paste this if you want to keep it as like one of your favorite prompts or something. So let's say I want this, and I want less visceral details, more action. Let's say that's how I want the revision. Now, it only has the context of the words that are here. This is important. This is something that everyone has to wrap their brain around when they're working with AI. Other tools that you use on the market will decide for you how much context are going to be included into a revision prompt. This tool allows you to decide. So if I have an outline up at the top with like all of my character information and stuff, and then I'm highlighting some prose right here, I can force the AI to take into consideration all of my outlining information. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If I only want it to know just a few paragraphs here, I can do that. Now I'm going to have a little bit of a problem because I highlighted 2 paragraphs and my output limit over here is set for 2048. So if I don't want to do that, I can close this. I can lower this. This is another way that you can control, because AI on its own has a tendency to go on and on and on, and little did he know and little does she know, and they're all in this together. So there's another component of when you're revising, you kind of want to be thoughtful about how many words or how many tokens do I want that to be. And if you don't know, this tool, if you highlight, it tells you how many words are selected. So 556 words are selected. So
and
tokens selected. Huh?
And the tokens.
Yeah, we need to add token selected. No, this is tokens in the total box. So I think we need a token selected. To tell them that too. But yeah, if I have tokens selected right here, 556 words, I know that that's about 700 tokens. Oh no, it does tell the tokens, doesn't it? No, it's saying 731 words, 556. Words selected is 135.
Yeah, okay,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, so if you just add 25% to that, so about another 50 words, so about 200 tokens. So I'm going to just change my output length to like 256. I'm telling you guys more information than you need to know. You can just experiment with it. But if I highlight it and I click revise, less visceral details, more action, click submit, it's going to start writing a change. So it made it shorter. And if I don't like it, same principle, I can run it again. And if I like that, now this is the really cool part. How many of you have made changes with AI and then after you're like, okay, I've got the AI words in there, the next thing I have to do is remove the old stuff? So pay attention here. You'll see I have my prompt right here in brackets, and then I have the old writing, and then I have the writing that I just liked. As soon as I press equal signs, it takes out the prompt and it takes out the old stuff and it just replaces it. It is going to make your editing so fast. You can highlight, say the edit you want, press equal sign, and let it go. Do we have any comments on that? I'll show it one more time without all the talking about the shorts. So if I don't like this one, I can highlight this paragraph. I'm now in revise mode. It tells you at the bottom. I press backslash and I'm like, expand this and have internal thoughts of Raptor. Let's see if it can do that. Click submit. Why am I holding back? He wondered, his thoughts racing. The prey is unaware of danger lurking. Shouldn't I just strike? So I press equals. It'll replace the previous one, and it's right there. If you don't know how you want your formatting, you can, and you do have the ability here if you don't want it formatted like this, which I think is markdown, correct, Leland?
Yeah, that's bold.
Don't want it marked down. You can just press italics and change it. So it is just like a text box. So sometimes the AI will write back formatting that we don't like, or we can keep it bold. But usually I do internal as italics. So there we go. Now, obviously, this is kind of a weird application because this is a freaking dinosaur, but there we go. All right, let's do something else. I'm going to clear everything out of here. So to clear everything out, I'm going to press the little eraser button. Boop, it's gone. So it is important right now that anything you like, you copy and paste. And I'm going to bring in a scene that I have already written. It's a women's fiction book. And now I'm going to show you the note capability. I guess we'll hop back before we show notes. Let's go see if there's any comments about revise. So remove from the stage. What do you guys think about revise? We got from Jonathan, we got OMG, and that's awesome. For any of our existing students in the audience, how have you guys used revise? Like, how has that been a game changer? And Leland, you've been using revise a lot, right?
I've been mostly just using the continue and or providing specific instructions for that. Yep. The revise stuff is usually me typing. So, gotcha. So it's like it's more along the lines of, it gave me some interesting text, I'll take it, and then I'm like, and then I know exactly what I actually want. So.
Oh, Jen says that she uses it for changing the tone of dialogue. So awesome. So there was another feature before note, and it was called bridge. So just so you guys know the history of this thing, we had bridge. And I am not a favorite person right now for Leland because I cannexed bridge. I said no bridge. There was reasons for that. And hopefully I'll get some backup from the people who are in the audience. When we were working with bridge, a lot of times the AIs are just so hard coded to continue what's there. And people were, if you send a whole bunch of text, the little instruction to bridge was just so small and it was in the middle. And when it rags or something like that, it misses the command entirely. So it was like, okay, we can either make the prompting more complicated, which would be harder to teach people, or we can try to fix it so that it works 100% of the time. Anyone who had access to this early on with bridge, did you have any problems with bridge just writing the rest of the story? I know, Leland, you didn't run into that, but you're also staff members of FFA, and I think you probably were very careful with your prompting. But anyone else, did you have problems with that where it just would continue where you put the cursor in? Yeah. Oh, Danica's with you.
Danica, you're my tribe.
No, not getting rid of bridge, but I'll trust you. Okay. Let's see if I earn that trust. Bridge is now a two-step process. Oh, Harper's on my side. Ha. It's much easier to just put the instructions in brackets instead of using the bridge. Okay. So what bridge would do is it was a one-step thing of like you put your instructions in and it would just automatically do the prompting for you. We found that that was just too messy. So let me show you the new bridge now called Note. And Note works in conjunction with Revise. So that's its partner. So here we go. I'm going to add back to the stage and we're going to come into here. So this particular story It is about a woman at a funeral for her mother. It's first person point of view. I stand in the funeral's home foyer, my black dress feeling too tight, too constricting. So she's there, and then we have Mrs. Abernathy is going to come talk to her. Her mother is a saint. And so if I'm reading this, it's like I stand on wobbly legs, bracing myself for the onslaught of well-meaning but empty platitudes. Jennifer, I'm so sorry for your loss, murmurs Mrs. Abernathy, enveloping me in a cloud of white diamonds perfume. Your mother was a saint, an absolute saint. Another elderly woman approaches me, her face etched with sympathy. Jennifer, dear, I'm so sorry for your loss. Your mother was a wonderful woman. She'll be deeply missed. I just don't like this pacing, okay? I think it's a little too forced. What do you think, Leland?
Sure.
Sure.
I'll go with you on that one.
Yeah. I've been to funerals. If you have anyone who walks away after saying one line, let me know how you ran that funeral, because I'd like to know how you make people do that. Usually people have a conversation. So I'm going to just press enter here. I'm going to give it space. This is one thing about the program I will say. It's like wherever your cursor is, that's where it's going to insert. So I'm going to press my note key or my backslash key, and it just opens up a note. And it's always going to have your last prompt that you had in there. And I'm going to say, have Mrs. Abernathy and Jennifer talk about Patricia's garden. And Mrs. Abernathy wants to know how Jennifer will keep it up. Are these the kind of notes that you send to yourself when you're marking up of like, hey, I want to expand this when you're working with AI? Is this how you do it, Leland? Like you might have a whole paragraph here, right? Of like stuff that you want. Yeah. Now that I've done that, my output limit, we can do 512. Actually, no, the output limit has to be the total amount. So you probably want to do a higher amount. I'm going to highlight everything up to that point. So it has the context that she's at a funeral. And then I'm going to go all the way down to another elderly woman approaches me, her face etched with sympathy. So I'm looking for the last line to be deeply missed. That should be the last line. So now that I've highlighted this, I press / and I click submit. Actually, I can take this out. I click submit because the prompting tells it what to do. And I'll show you guys in the settings. So do you see how it keeps it the exact same? I stand in the funeral home's foyer. It's not changing those words. It's only going to change about the garden. Have you thought about how you'll keep up her beautiful garden? It was always so vibrant and full of life. I manage a weak smile despite the lump in my throat. I'm not sure, Mrs. Abernathy. It meant so much to her. I just hope I can do it justice. Mrs. Abernathy nods, her expression earnest. I can help if you need it. Patricia always had the best advice for keeping roses blooming. I remember her sharing tips while we tended to the tulips last spring. I don't love that text, but does everybody see how it was obedient and it wrote about the garden and it stopped at deeply missed?
You scroll up, please.
Huh?
Where you're starting? Where does it start? Scroll up.
I highlighted all the way from I stand.
Okay.
So it had to do this amount, and it did it perfectly. It followed it. It added the new stuff in, and then it did another elderly woman approaches me. So it connected it to that last line.
No, I'm gonna say that worked because you selected less than 2048 tokens.
Yes, you do have to know your output limit. So if you're selecting the entire thing for it to rewrite the entire thing, it has to be within what it can output back.
Right. And so FYI, the bridging function, I was using the entire context of the whole freaking window and having it bridge in pieces in the middle. So this is a divergent
yes
from bridge, and so that feature's kind of now missing.
Not entirely. There's other ways to do it, because remember, you control the continue prompt too. You control the prompting. So if you have notes in the middle and then you want to highlight something, you can control the revision prompt and all of the prompting. So you can make it do whatever you want it to do. It's just I had to pick something that would always work for people using the software. Mm-hmm. And bridge was having a tendency. Sometimes when you would do bridge, and I said I wanted to talk about the garden right here, what it would do is it would be reading down here, and it would say, it would just continue the scene, and it would stick it in the middle. And that's not how people are going to want this thing to work.
Right. I'm not arguing with that. This, by the way, everyone, this was the banter we were having before we started. So I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole, mm-hmm. But so I was doing some experimenting in the background, and yeah, I'm I'm a little broke until I figure out the new way to work with this. But
we'll do a new way to work with it, and we'll make sure the bridge thing comes into like a custom prompting thing for the pro version for sure. All right, I'm going to press equals, and it just replaces everything. So I got that conversation I wanted about the garden, and I could just keep going. Now, what I really like about the new note section, and I'll show you guys one other thing, and then I'll check out the comments. Let me go ahead and take this all out, and I'm going to put in that scene one more time. So I've got the entire scene. It tells me that it's 2,123 words and tokens 2811. That's how many tokens it is. So if I want it to be written back, I'm going to have to pick a model that can actually write back more than that. So that's going to be like haiku or something like that. If I want to do wizard, I'm going to have to work in little sections. But when you're reading, when you're actually editing, okay, so this is back the way it was. There's no talk about the garden. What I think is going to happen as a workflow for most authors is you're going to be reading it and you're going to be like an absolute saint. Okay, I don't like that. So I'm just going to say, have Abernathy and Jennifer talk about Patricia's garden. Abernathy isn't sure Jennifer can keep up her mother's garden. And it's almost like a note to myself. So if you don't want to use AI to rewrite it, you can literally just use this tool to like put your notes in and it'll bracket it for you. And I'm going to actually put some white space here just so you guys can see this a little bit better. And then I'm going to scroll down here a little bit more because there's another change that I know that I want. And that is her brother. Her brother is going to talk to her about we need to talk. It's after Nurse Laura. So here we go. Tyler, have Tyler and Jennifer banter a bit. Jennifer is snarky with jokes and that are a little off color. So does everyone see how I have two notes in this thing? I have two notes. And now I can actually go select all, which is just Command All. I've selected 2,100 words. I press my key here. It's going to have both of them. And I don't have to have a prompt because it's just revise. So I'm just going to click submit. We'll come down to the bottom here. It's literally rewriting it exactly. Here's the garden. And we'll keep going down to Momo. Yep. And now we have to have, sometimes I do an example where I'm like more jokes about the not having a dog. Now here's Tyler. Tyler's talking. Not now, Tyler. I can't deal with the will stuff today, but there's things we need to discuss. Honey, let's not do that. It can wait here. Jen, we need to talk. So it added a little bit there, but I probably want more stuff there about the jokes. And you'll see that it didn't finish because it was too many words for, I guess, the output of this particular model. So, which doesn't make sense because this thing can go out for 16. Oh, it's because I limited it. Duh, I'm an idiot. So hold on. I'll just make it 4096 and rewrite it again. It's fixed. So now it'll run all of it. So it's really important that you see how many tokens you have and you make sure that your output limit is more. And the other reason that I think this is going to be better long-term as a free tool for people, we want to teach people you don't want to send 20,000 tokens to make one line change. You know, that's not a good use of resources. You'll be sitting there waiting forever for one line to change. So you could actually mark this up with like 3 or 4, as many as you wanted to, really, of changes that you wanted. So if not Tyler, I can't do it. There's things that we need to do. So it makes all the changes and it's going to finish up the scene. Oh, this is a longer scene than I thought. Brace yourself. Hurricane Linda's about to make landfall. And so we're done. So if I press equals, it replaces everything. And I'm at 1924 words. But it kept all the other stuff mostly the same. And then it just made the changes that I asked for it to. So I will stop the share and see what people think. And if I'm wrong, we will go back and bring Bridge back. But you could just put a whole bunch of notes in and then make sure that the AI model that is outputting is enough space for outputting what you're trying to edit. And you could edit a whole scene in one go with multiple changes. Or you could highlight paragraphs and go one change at a time. If you wanted to mark it all up, you could go one change at a time to make those changes. It's not exactly bridge, but.
Well, and then the other key phrase that you said in there was mostly the same, which
It's
is
pretty much the same.
Okay. But there's a large gap between the same and mostly the same. I will spend a great deal of time getting dialogue or other things correct, which would not be grammatically correct. And then if I use this tool and it rewrites it, guess what it's going to do? It goes back and it adds back in on like little words and other stuff like that, completely undoing
So
other stuff
Leland,
that I've done.
your
So
staff, what would you do to your revise prompt to make it so it doesn't do that?
I'm going to stop using revise.
No. You go to the revise prompt and you say, only change the words in brackets. Anything that is not grammatically correct outside of the brackets, don't touch and just reprint it as is. You can control the AI that way. It's just that's advanced prompting.
Yeah, well, but so just FYI, I mean, right now in my /edit, I currently have a little over 7,000 words.
Yep.
Which is, so if I try and do the Control A thing, it doesn't work. So, I mean,
but what are you editing that you're going to want it to know all 7,000 words?
I'm doing lit RPG, which includes stats, control, capabilities, stuff like that. So it needs to have other references to various items up above. And so it's like if I'm continuing the story or I'm editing the story, I'm like, okay, I need this to reference the strength stats, so or have the discussion of this skill or that other item. So there's contextual items. So yeah, I know I can put them into the system prompt.
Yes, you can put them in the system prompt as well. No, you pay for all the words. So that's the other thing, because this is a free tool for authors. Like, you're using your open router key, which is great because it'll restrict like how much you're doing. But when you highlight all, if you have 10,000 words in there and you highlight all, you're paying the input tokens for all 10,000 words.
Yeah, I'm perfect. I'm actually aware of that, right? So,
yeah, but new authors.
One of the reasons I stay away from the models that are 60 cents per the 60 cents range, but that's a whole other discussion. It's fine. Yeah. This is a free tool.
Free tool.
And on top of that, we're right in the middle of, do we need this feature? Do we need that feature? What are we going to do with this? Where's that going to be? Where'd that go? Right. So right now, this thing is massively in flux. And so you can come use it for free.
Yep.
You can play with it. Let us know. Give us your feedback. And, you can, if you join the free course right now, you can get in.
So, truthfully, the best thing to do if you really want to be involved in this is to join the lab. We have a 7-day free trial with the Future Fiction Academy lab. It's $159 per month. That gets you Rexy. That gets you all the labs and the classes that we've ever done, and that we're doing in the future. Like right now, you're in the middle of teaching everyone how to make AI audiobooks, right? With 11 labs. I think you're in the middle of that one. Yeah. Next month, I'm teaching everyone how to automate marketing. We've already done some marketing stuff. Steph just did a class on not safe for work with all the newer models and everything like that. So the $159 price point a month really gets you a lot, and you get a 7-day free trial on that. And that's futurefictionacademy.com/trial. If you don't really want to join lab or anything like that, and you just want to play with this, then go ahead and join our free course, which is futurefictionacademy.com/free. That's going to get you access, but we're not going to be able to really interact with you too much, like talking to you or getting your feedback, unless you email the dean email or use contact us. But when you're part of the FFA lab, the people who are here present can tell you, I usually, if I'm teaching a class or something like that, or a club or something like that, the last 20 to 45, sometimes hour and a half minutes of the class, we will just impromptu do stuff with whatever new software we're working on. This thing is called correctly the madness of EAW, because I would say that is my favorite feature of the FFA. Like, if you remember the FFA, we're going to play. I was just doing the boot camp this morning. We're in the middle of a reading challenge for the boot camp. It's really like a community of AI positive authors, and we're all supporting one another with their projects and everything. We finished the boot camp, and Leland, we went over to OpenAI Playground, and we just started to play with some of the voices and stuff for making.
We do that also in the I run writing sprints almost every day of the week.
Yeah.
And literally last night, I think we spent an hour walking one of our members through. We were actually using there's been 2 versions since I fell asleep. So we were using 2 versions back of this particular tool to help her get through and start working on one of her first new novel.
Yeah.
So this is a very standard for us all around. So it's like we're constantly playing with this. And don't forget the Discord community. I mean, like if you come in to the labs, not only do you get the lessons, but you also get the Discord community where we have huge discussions on this, and also can file tickets because we found some errors, so we were able to file, take screenshots, file some tickets, and capture all that information.
Yeah, and the Discord is really cool because people are talking about all kinds of stuff. We just did a whole bunch of classes on the book machine, so people are using Rexy to run. There was a member of the Future Fiction Academy. I won't out her by name, but she was in group yesterday talking about how she was able to get four books done, 4 little like short novellas done in one day with the book machine methods that we have for Rexy. So
there's a question. Let's just make sure we hit that. I think
if
I hit the star, does that put it up there? No.
Yeah, if you just click it. Which one are you wanting to click?
Show. There it is.
Yeah, I answered that one. You're going to pay for all 2K words.
Right. So you pay for all the tokens that go in and all the tokens that come out.
Yeah.
So depending, if you're asking for a lot of tokens and you're doing the runs, then depending on which model you're using, it's your dime, because your key, it's going direct access. You're not paying us for it. We're not tracking your key. We're not even seeing the traffic.
No.
So.
But just for purposes of that, let me add to the stage again and come over to Open Router. And I'm going to go to my activity because we've been playing. So since I can't even read that number. Hold on. I've got to scroll over. Somehow I can't scroll over while doing that. Okay, so we'll just look at the numbers. So we've been live since noon. So right here, I'll get out the calculator. That's a lot of zeros.
Hold on here, because I mean, I think we spent a penny.
Maybe? I'm curious now. 0.00191 plus 0.00165 plus 0.000279 plus 0.000116 plus 0.123127 plus 0.000129 plus 0.000293. By the way, I'm only up to 0.5 tenth of a penny at this point, plus 0.000237 plus 0.000254. Nope, I've spent just shy of 0.5 penny.
There you go.
All of those words that we were running through, from the dinosaur to the changing and everything like that, because we were just using 4.0 mini. It was literally the cost of 0.5 penny. So, and I think that that's a really big thing too about the principles that I believe in. I think that there should not be obscurity about how much these things really cost. So if you're using Open Router, you're paying for the tokens directly. You're able to see how much the tokens cost directly. When we have the pro version that you can put in your OpenAI key, your Anthropic key, your Google key, it'll show you exactly how much you're spending on those entities as well, and there won't be a markup. So we don't.
And I mean, just FYI, you do have to be a little bit careful with this, because sometimes you might get a little excited, or if you're a baker, you might get really excited. And we've had a couple students go, "Oh my God, I spent $25 this morning."
Yeah, that especially happens with Rexy a lot if you're using like Claude Opus, or Google was actually the one I think that somebody spent like $80, but she ran like 150,000 word novel.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, she knew what she was doing, but the whole point was that she actually came on like, "I just spent $25," and we're like, "Where?
How did you do that?" Also, the person who did that knew that they had $300 of free credit on their Google account, so they were purposely trying to like push the limits. So, and that's the cool thing about this time period. We're still in the early days of AI usage. So as new models come out and everything like that. So for example, we have a brand new free a brand new fine tuning course that's going to be happening in September about 4.0 mini. I'll probably be doing some special topics in August about it too, because between now and September 23rd, if you are tier 4 on OpenAI, you get 2 million tokens free training for 4.0 mini right now until September 23rd. And Rexy does allow you to use fine-tuned models, and I have a feeling the pro version of Raptor Write will also allow fine-tuned models.
That's definitely a pro feature. That's not something we're going to drop out there, because we want to make sure that you know what you're doing and you really mean it.
Yeah.
I love this comment, by the way.
Yeah, it gives a new meaning to the dive model.
Thanks, Alex. It really does.
But we think that this tool is going to help a lot of authors know that they need to validate to validate the words that are coming out. It's an editing tool primarily. It's really designed that people can just write. And if you get stuck, you press / and it'll just continue. I mean, that may be the feature that most people just use. Like, they're just writing their story and then they press / and they get a little bit of help. They may like it, they may not, but it's easy to delete it and just keep writing, or it's easy to accept it and just keep writing. And I think that's what my biggest focus was for how this tool, I mean, in my real vision, I wanted this tool to write alongside you, but we're not there yet. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, I think I've spent 25 cents writing like my last novel. So
yeah,
it's really been very costly, let me tell you.
Stacy and I did 2 novellas in less than 20 hours at the beginning of July, and we were using Claude 3.5 Sonnet for most of it. You guys saw the first chapter, huh?
I said the almost expensive version. That's
we were pricey. We were pricey, and
girls.
We still, I think, spent grand total. Actually, I can tell you real fast. I'm pulling up.
She's going to go look it up. In the meanwhile, Alex, I'm into the penny dreadful. Like I have tub bins of pulps behind me, so we're all good. And then Carrie asked a question about, is open a penny not saying in the U.S.? Carrie, I don't quite understand that question.
We have a penny saved is a penny earned here. I know that's a saying.
Yeah. Do you think that's what she's asking? Carrie, is that what you're asking? It's like, I'm thinking in for a penny, in for a pound.
Oh, yeah, that's a saying too. In for a penny, in for a pound. But that's not American. That's British. We just brought it over because we don't have any pounds. I think I always heard that getting changed to in for an ounce, in for a pound. That's, I think, because my mother probably didn't understand that penny was also a thing in Britain, and pound. It's always fun.
Fun fact, in Britain, the weight measurement was literally based off of the value of the money. So the banks could actually count your money by pouring your coins into a scale. No lie.
Yeah. I actually like the way that the UK measure, because I'm not that many stone. I prefer to be less stones than pounds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm only...
I prefer my weight in stones. All right. Well, we are off the rails here. I did look up that amount because we were hammering it pretty hard. We ended up doing a bunch of runs. We ran like more than like 60,000 words through Claude Sonnet, and the grand total for that for 2 novellas being done was $11. So big spenders. We were big spenders. But I don't know that you could have somebody write 2 novellas for you for $11 from a ghostwriter. I don't think that's no. We don't do that. So thank you again so much for everyone who came. I know we had a little diversion, but I hope that you'll like Raptor Write. Give it a shot. Throw in your open router key. The link will be down in the description as well, but it's also in the chat. There is, if you want info on creating fine tunes with 4.0 mini, you want to check our original fine tune tool. That the fine tune classes from January, that methodology still works. Stacy just did it. But 4.0 mini has obviously a much larger context, so you can actually make your data sets a lot bigger. So we'll be working on in the next month or two how to take advantage of 4.0 fine tunes, but literally it's like 3 days old, guys. I haven't had a chance to play too hard with it. But Stacy likes her fine tune of 4.0. She just tested the original outline Mageddon data set in it, and it worked like a charm. So we're going to really push forward on some of those fine tunes. So the next time I'm live, I'll probably be talking about fine tunes and how we're doing it. That I know you're chomping at the bit. I am too. Harper says she is running her first fine tune in 4.0 mini. So if you are a member of the Future Fiction Academy and you have already made a fine tune once, you know how to make a fine tune.
You're ready to go. You're
ready to go. Make a fine tune for 4.0.
Pretty much just use the same data set.
You can, or you can make a data set that's bigger now because it has the ability to process more. Yeah. And for those who, go ahead.
And if you're following some of the stuff that we're doing, one of the reasons that our tools automatically saved in Notion and we capture all that data is once you've incorporated that into your workflow, you kind of automatically build up data sets to make fine tunes. So very useful.
Yeah, I have some plans. The first fine tune I want to do on GPT-4o Mini is I want to train that little thing to write me back 10,000 words at once. Because it can. I've played with it in Playground to push it, and it's given me back a response of 7,000 words. And that was just with prompting. So I think with demonstration of examples with a fine tune, because remember, a fine tune is just like, here's an example. Here's 10 examples of how I would like for you to respond. And you put it in there, like, here's the prompt and here's the response. Here's the prompt, here's the response. That's what a fine tune is. You're basically like teaching a kid how to tie their shoes 10 times in a row. If you have 20 samples in there, then you're teaching it 20 times in a row. And you just want it consistent because it's not going to teach it new things. It's just going to teach it how you want it to respond. So I'm teaching it, I want it to respond with a lot more words. And that's going to be my first fine tune that I push, because I have dreams of a day that I give it an outline and everything like that. And I'm like, go. And it writes me my 10,000 words. And then I sit there and I edit them all up in Raptor Write. And I finished my 10,000 words for the day.
There we go. We're going to start having 10K per day challenges here.
So. Probably. It's really, I think it's really going to turn into how fast can you read? How fast can you read and edit? That's going to be the delimiting factor.
Yeah, I can't keep up with you by any stretch of the imagination.
I learned how to speed read in middle school. I highly recommend speed read books and things like that. It's just reading up and down. But it is a skim. It's not a deep read. If I'm doing a deep read, it takes me longer. So, all right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to the live. Anybody have some last thoughts about Raptor Write? What you think about it? How you feel about this being free? Are you going to have friends that are kind of like on the fence about AI that you think are going to be a little bit more comfortable? They can just like, oh, and the other cool thing too about this, forgot to mention those 5 tenets, right? So number 1 is, you can see the prompt. Number 2 is about, you being able to control the temperature and the bottle and all of that. There's a lot more. I should probably really codify these, but the last real big thing I think that's important for teaching people is that when you use an API key through Open Router, you're not training those models. When you are using the free chat on Claude or OpenAI, your information is training those models. It's training the next model. Now, I'm not here to say it's not ethical to train the next model. I contribute the free stuff all the time. I use the paid chats, and in the paid chats, you have the option of turning that off. So you have to pay your $20 a month. But I mean, truthfully, I don't get $20 worth of stuff out of my ChatGPT each month. I just don't think to go to that chat that often. And I can tell that from like my API, because I hammer my API real hard. And then I'll be like, oh, I spent $8 this month. I spent $5 this month. So I know that they're overcharging the $20 in comparison to the API charges. So that's another, I think, tenet there, that it's giving the opportunity for authors who need a free tool. Like, there are genuinely authors out there who need a free tool. They're just starting out, or they have like an economic reason that they really just need it to be free. I don't know how long free AI is going to be around, but it is around now. And the trade-off is you're being used to train. And if you want to be able to use free AI, we do have the option where, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but the dropdown also has the free models that are on Open Router. So you can use 100% the free models on Open Router.
Your mileage will vary.
Your mileage will vary. They're not always the best, but if you're just using it for like a couple of little words here and there to just keep you going, they're great.
My favorite use for some of these models is simply, what is that word that describes, and then whatever I'm trying to think of, because I know that there's a word for it, I just can't remember it. So I'm able to go, how do you just, or what is the proper way to describe this in Britain, or what's the proper way that they would describe this in France, or something like that. And it comes back. It may not be right, but at least I can make a I won't be an educated, but at least a reasonable guess. So yep. That's one of my favorite uses for this.
Yeah,
Hello, Ekello. How you doing?
Hi, Ekello. I know I went early. I know August 19th is when the actual free version will be out, but now you have the link and it's out of the box, and we're inviting people to be part of the alpha.
It's now out of the box. The URL has been exposed, so I can stop. This is nice. I can stop putting the little hide banner out.
Yeah, you do still need to do the hide banner, because starting Monday, that link will be we'll be changing the link regularly, but you would be basically revealing the link still.
Oh, okay. So I still have to do the hide banner. Dang it. Okay.
You don't have to do the hide thing between now and Monday.
Oh, well. Whatever.
Yeah, because this link is going to go away. All right. Thank you, Melody. And Carrie says, love it. And Jonathan says, thank you for demoing this. And do give us feedback. Come back and give us chat here if you want to. Comments on how well what you think of this. And we'll work on some videos and stuff, especially once we solidify the software. It is definitely an alpha release. I want to stress that enough.
It's pre-alpha. I don't even think this counts as alpha.
Yeah, it's probably not even alpha. I think alpha is probably going to go out on the 19th. But yeah, Ekello's like, I might do a live stream about it today. Then yes, we're throwing down the gauntlet. We're going to release this free to everybody August 19th. It is free right now for everybody. It's free now till Monday. If you want to still have access to it after Monday, please join the free class, futurefictionacademy.com/free. If you want to have input on how you want to work on it, you join the FFA proper. Alex says, is it up on the Discord? What do you mean by on the Discord? We don't have our own Discord for Raptor Write yet. We will be starting its own Discord. In the meantime, Future Fiction Academy members have their Discord, and that's where we talk about Raptor Write. We'll probably start a whole new channel for it in FFA. Right now, we've been talking about it in Rexy, in the Rexy chat. So we'll give Raptor its own. It's such a little brother. Like, I'm such a bad mom. It's like, Rexy got a baby book and all this stuff, and Raptor's like, here. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I got to go make all those things for you, don't I? I'm a bad dino mommy.
Exactly. That's okay.
Kid. What do you do?
We'll figure it all out.
It's figure it out. Yeah. So we'll make a Discord, and you know what? Maybe I'll get a wild hair and put some instructions in there, and we'll put a link to the Raptor Write Discord. Yeah, that's a good idea. No, what we'll probably do is put that link inside of the free. I
mean, frankly, the instructions are go watch this YouTube video.
Yeah, that's exactly what we'll do. Hour long. All right.
We could probably do a 10-minute video, which is like, just put your open API key in here. Here's your settings. We're done. Yeah.
Join
After that, experiment.
Yep, experiment and play. Play. Raptor is included in the FFA monthly fee, and the pro version of Raptor will be automatically as part of your tuition. So we're not raising the prices or anything like that for Raptor. So $159 a month, you're going to get Raptor and Rexy and Lab.
And Labs.
Yeah, and if you are somebody who's only Rexy only, like the $99 plan, then Pro Raptor will be added to that plan too. So we're not split. We're not a software company, guys. Like, we have software, but we're not really a software company. It's not our goal. Our goal is to make cool stuff to help writers write.
Actually, my goal is to use this cool stuff to write.
Yeah.
So there we go.
That's what we want to do. All right. Thank you, Alex. I think we'll end on that. He says, have a good day and great demo. I appreciate that, because that demo felt a little bit awkward, but that's okay. That's how we roll.
Yeah, banter is banter.
Yep. And I'll be back next Friday, guys, live. I'll make sure I schedule one, because I have a feeling that people are going to have questions. So share with your friends, teach them, share. And we'll see you guys next time.
All right. Jazz hands.
Bye. Jazz hands.